Rain, 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 rain. Beautiful rain. Rain, 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 rain. Beautiful rain. Oh, come to me. Beautiful rain. Wow. We're in the middle of a drought. Well, all the grass has gone yellow. It hasn't rained for I can't even remember how long. And this is England, the place that is supposed to be foggy and rainy all the time. Oh my God, we're overheating. String vest is running it. You know, if you got a string vest, I'm wearing different ones every day. And wow, thank God for string vests. Must be El Nino or something. La Nina. You know that weather pattern that circles once every, is it 3, 4, 5 years? Where you get either drought or lots of rain all at one time. And not that I'm complaining and stuff, but you know, when you're editing in a little room around a hot Mac in this kind of weather, it's hard, man. It's hard. And hence I always have to run out and come out here, do a little video, change things up a bit. I noticed that whenever I'm editing, the type of videos that I produce are kind of like brainstormers. The ones that, you know, because when I'm editing, although I'm focusing on what I'm doing, my mind, my subconscious mind is working in the background. So obviously the kind of videos I produce reflect that. And other than that, I'm just reviewing something, which I'm trying to get away from just the reviewing camera gear. Although people seem to like that one. They seem to like that. I get more views on my camera reviews than on my, what do you call it? All that kind of stuff. But it's all good. Anyway, I'm sweating already. Oh my God. I was thinking about doing editing down there. I was thinking about advertising again. The advertising thing. Because the advertising thing has really come on in leaps and bounds in the 21st century. Remember, advertising was up front one time. You know, the show would come on and there'd be a break and an advert would come on and you'd know it was an advert and it was clearly an advert and it was aimed at certain individuals or a certain market. And it was straight up, straight down, and everybody knew where everybody was. Today, it's not like that. Adverts today, real adverts, are unseen. They're seen subconsciously, but they're unseen to the eye. Why do I say that? I'll tell you in a minute, once I stop sweating. The adverts that they have today are really run by brand ambassadors. And I know I keep going on about brand ambassadors because they're the new bogeyman. Brand ambassadors, ooh, coming to a station near you. Brand ambassadors, these are people who are paid by big brands to embed themselves in and amongst the market that they're trying to reach. So you don't even know that they're advertisers. You don't even know that they are there pushing stuff to you. It is very, underground, conspiracy. And it can make you feel very uneasy. Who are these people around me holding new cameras? Hey, I've got a new camera. Click, 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 click. Maybe you should have a new camera too. No, they don't say it like that. That would be that would be easy to spot. But you notice, as I said, on YouTube, a lot of the videos are camera reviews, and you notice, they move through cameras so quickly. A new camera comes out, and the hype will last for about 2 weeks, with everybody talking about it, and then it will die down. And then you won't see anybody using these new cameras, or very few people using the new cameras. That's because the brand ambassadors have moved on to something else. They've moved on to something else, So The role of the brand ambassador is really to create some kind of whirlpool excitement, some false kind of whirlwind storm of excitement where everybody gets excited. Because like when you go into a dance, right? I use that as an example. You go into a dance. If it's empty, you don't really enjoy yourself. They play the same music, all the latest jams, has very little effect on you. Go to another jam, which is jammed, hence the word jam. They play the same music. Oh, you had the best time you ever had. Why? Because that whirlpool of excitement around you. Everyone's excited and that excitement rubs off onto you. So therefore, you enjoy yourself more. And when you enjoy yourself more, when you are enjoying yourself, you're more suggestive. People can suggest stuff to you and you will accept it more because you're in that environment where you're actually enjoying yourself. That's how brand ambassadors work. That is the basis of it. Yeah. Manufacturing consent. Was it Noam Chomsky? Manufacturing consent. Manufacturing consent. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's along that line. You're manufacturing an idea where people will accept that. And all the big brands know about this. Excuse me. All the big brands are using this kind of approach today in the 21st century. So what makes it work? What makes that kind of marketing work, or this kind of world work, is the actual people who succumb to that marketing, obviously. In the camera world, we will call them the swingers. These are the people who swing from one brand to another. The mass of people who exodus from one brand to another brand. See, the manufacturers, the marketers watch the number. They're interested in the number of people who's going to go from this brand to. They don't care what the brands are. It's the numbers, the swing. If they will swing that way, you can get them to swing that way. If you can get them to swing that way, you can get them to swing this way. So therefore, you have total control if you know how to get into the minds of these people, because it's not real. The excitement isn't real. It's manufactured, It's a deep one today, deep one. The brand ambassadors. I've been threatening to talk about it for a while. And I know certain people are nervous now because I'm going to spill the beans. Spill the beans, We're going to let you free today if you want to be free. Some people are caught up in this exodus, this swing thing. They're caught up in it, And you notice we convince ourselves that we need to be in the swing, carrying the swing. Oh, my 5D Mark II is old now and it cannot take the pictures that I want to take. It's not innovative enough as it was when it first came out. So therefore, I need something new. Swing, 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 swing. Swing, 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 swing. Yeah? It's kind of like capacitive reactance. When I was back in college days, we used to learn electronics, and one of the things that we learned about was capacitive reactors. A capacitor has two plates, right? And the electrons flow from one plate to the other plate when this plate is charged. This plate becomes charged, yeah? Positively charged. So the electrons flow from this plate through the space in the middle, the insulation, to this. So there's a mad rush. The swingers, a mad rush to this plate. Call this brand A, call this brand B. The more that rush to this brand B starts to become adversely affected. Adversely affected? It becomes charged now by the amount of rush of swingers. So the more charge that reaches this plate now, it starts to take on the characteristics of the swingers and it starts to repel. The rush slows down because it starts to repel. It's like when you go to a dance. When the dance is swinging, everyone wants to get there. But if the dance is jammed, you can't get in and there'll be a long line outside of people. And at a certain point, the bouncers have to say, no more, can't come in. Same thing. So now this plate is now at still. It's at standstill. This brand is now full. Yeah. So that's no good to the marketers. What do they need now? They need all those people to rush back to this plate. Because if it is stationary, they're not gaining. So they need everybody to rush back from this plate to this plate. So they've got to manufacture that consent. They've got to manufacture that mindset that says, oh, I've got the latest camera, but something else now I need on this side, or this brand has brought out something better than what I have. So let's all rush back again. See, that's how you have the Nikon on the Canon and the Canon and the Nikon. And lately we've got the DSLR and the mirrorless. The DSLR and the mirrorless. The DSLR and the mirrorless. And it's being sold to us as these are rivals competing for the same market. And people are buying it and rushing from one to the other. Yeah? Remember they had the Mac versus the PC. I talked about that before. And that did the same thing. People rushed from a PC to a Mac. I'm a Mac. I'm a PC. That advertising campaign, you remember? And the Mac was styled as some youngster, young hipster. And the PC was styled as some old number cruncher who wore woolly jumpers with sheep on it or whatever it is. Yeah? It's all manufactured consent. You're being played with. You're being toyed with. You're being played. Just like a guitar. So we need to watch this. We need to look at this. Final Cut versus Premiere. Oh, Premiere is better than Final Cut. People rush from Final Cut to Premiere. Oh, Premiere, Final Cut's now been upgraded. People's rushing back and forwards. It keeps the market going. That's all it is. I couldn't tell you which one's better than which. But what we should focus on is the one that we got good enough to do what we want to do with it? Can it do the job? Can it do it effectively? That's how I look at things. That's why I still got a 5D Mark II. Sure, I'd like a 5D Mark IV. I ain't spending £4,000 on a camera though. Come on, that's a bit stupid. Come on now. I mean, if I had that amount of work, I was doing that amount of work where I could make that money back within, I don't know, a month or two, then why not? But a lot of us are not on that. So let's not play ourselves like we're on that. The marketing people, the advertising people are playing us. And we need to wake up. Modern day advertising is unseen. Yeah, they got these companies that are big companies. They're putting on little house parties, little parties. You would never know it's a big company behind it. They're putting on these parties. They get people to jam in the party. And you would think if you're legitimately at this party, thinking it's a party, you'll think it's just a normal party. It's not. At the party, they're advertising stuff to you. You don't even know it. You don't even get it. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a game. And we're caught up in the game. These pop-up parties, you know, they do it with protests even. You'll see a protest out the road and you think people are just protesting about something local. No. You notice, right? The minute I start talking about brand ambassadors, conspiracy, my YouTube channel gets cut off. What's going on there? You see, I'm trying to set you free. And these people don't want you to be set free. So where was I before my YouTube was... Well, actually, the battery died in my microphone. Let's get it right. Let's not blow this out of proportion. So, what was I saying? Modern day advertising, brand ambassadors, we got to look at who's around us. We've got to be careful that we don't fall into this thing that is designed to keep the manufacturing world alive because they're not smart enough to produce something that is just going to work, and that knowing that will keep us, you know, attached to whatever it is that they're doing. So this new way is agitation and gets people flowing from left to right and backwards and forwards. And and in so doing, gets money out of our pocket into their pocket. So we need to look out for that. What was I going to say? There's a lot of examples around us that we don't actually realize is advertising. We just think it just happens. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned before, the battery cut, the pop-up parties that big manufacturers are behind. There's also protests. Sometimes you see protests out the road or little events based upon something happening in the area, a little protest. But it's actually, there is a big, maybe not corporate entity, but there's a big entity behind that with a lot of money. So it's not just as it appears. Things are not just as they appear in this 21st century. So the brand ambassador thing is the way we are going. It's all, and maybe that's why I look at them with such suspicion. You brand ambassador, you. It's become a dirty word. It's become a dirty word, a cuss word in the 21st century. You brand ambassador. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's get back to editing. I grew up in a place called Brixton City.